Words have the power to heal or to hurt in ways that never fully disappear. Imagine unintentionally saying something to your adult child that builds a wall instead of a bridge. Imagine losing precious moments of closeness simply because of a few careless phrases. Doctors and relationship experts warn that certain words, even if spoken out of frustration or habit, can quietly push your children away. Today, we'll uncover the 5 toxic phrases that seniors should never say to their grown children, and how protecting your words can protect the love that matters more than anything. If you want to build stronger, lasting bonds with the people you love, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Your words are powerful. Together, let's learn how to use them to lift up, not tear down, the relationships that fill your life with meaning. The phrase, "After everything I've done for you," may sound like a simple reminder of love and sacrifice, but doctors and relationship experts warn that for adult children, these words often carry a heavy, painful weight. Studies show that guilt-tripping language like this can quietly build resentment, create emotional distance, and make grown children feel trapped instead of loved. Over time, this resentment can harden into walls that even love struggles to break through. Experts explain that when a parent uses this phrase, even with the best intentions, it shifts the focus away from mutual respect and toward a kind of emotional debt. Instead of feeling cherished for who they are, the adult child feels measured by how well they repay what was given to them. Doctors have observed that this creates a subtle but powerful pressure. The child may feel that no matter what they do, it will never be enough. That love has conditions attached to it, conditions that they must constantly work to meet. Research shows that guilt, when used as a tool in family relationships, doesn't deepen bonds. It weakens them. Adult children who feel guilt-tripped are far more likely to withdraw emotionally. They call less. They visit less. Not because they do not love their parents, but because every interaction begins to feel heavy, stressful, and filled with unspoken expectations they cannot fully satisfy. Experts explain that adult children today are often carrying heavy loads of their own: jobs, parenting, financial struggles, health worries. When a parent says, "After everything I've done for you," it can feel like one more weight placed on shoulders already bending under pressure. It can turn what should be a relationship of comfort into one of silent dread. Doctors have observed that some adult children, overwhelmed by guilt and helplessness, eventually choose to distance themselves to protect their own emotional health. The deeper tragedy is that guilt was never the real intention. Most seniors who use these words are speaking from a place of love, pain, or longing. They want connection, appreciation, recognition. They want to feel seen and valued for the sacrifices they made. Experts stress that these desires are valid and important, but the phrase itself acts like a barrier rather than a bridge. Instead of opening the heart of the child, it closes it. Research shows that expressions of unconditional love, love without reminders of sacrifice, strengthen family bonds more deeply than any other gesture. When seniors focus on the present moment, celebrate their adult children's efforts without comparison or guilt, and offer support freely, relationships flourish. Adult children feel drawn closer. They want to call, to visit, to share their lives because they feel safe, respected, and loved for who they are now, not just for what they once received. Experts explain that healing begins with new language. Saying, "I'm so proud of you," instead of, "After all I've done for you." Saying, "I love spending time with you," instead of, "You owe me your time." These small shifts open the door to deeper connection, healing old wounds quietly and powerfully over time. Doctors emphasize that relationships with adult children are fragile and precious. They are built day by day, word by word. Every phrase that lifts up, that honors without strings, becomes a thread that binds the hearts of parents and children together across years, miles, and hardships. Allowing guilt-tripping language to remain creates invisible cracks in these bonds. Cracks that widen over time until silence and distance become the norm. But choosing to speak with grace, with warmth, and with unconditional love builds bridges that no storm can wash away. You deserve relationships filled with laughter, trust, and shared joy. You deserve to feel loved for who you are, not just for what you have given. And your children deserve the chance to love you freely, without guilt clouding the beauty of your bond. Your words are powerful. Every choice to speak kindness instead of guilt is a gift, not just to your children, but to yourself. A gift of deeper conversations, longer hugs, and memories rich with peace and gratitude. Today is the perfect day to choose those words. 2. Let go of the silent debts of the past. To open your heart to the future, you still have time to build. Because every word of unconditional love you speak today plants seeds of closeness, trust, and joy that will bloom in every season to come. The words, "You never call or visit anymore," may come from a place of sadness, but doctors and relationship experts warn they often have the opposite effect of what's intended. Studies show that blaming language like this creates deep feelings of guilt in adult children. Guilt so heavy that it often drives them even farther away. Instead of drawing family closer, it quietly pushes them into silence, distance, and emotional self-protection. Experts explain that when seniors say these words, what they usually mean is, "I miss you." They mean, "I want to feel closer to you." But the message that reaches the adult child sounds very different. It sounds like a judgment. It sounds like a score being kept. Doctors have observed that adult children hearing these words often feel they have failed in some invisible test of love, and that failure creates shame, not connection. Research shows that guilt is a fragile foundation for any relationship. Adult children who feel judged are much more likely to retreat emotionally. They may still love deeply, but they start calling less, visiting less, sharing less. Not because they care less, but because every interaction feels like stepping into a courtroom where they are always on trial for not being enough. Experts explain that this emotional defense is not a sign of weakness. It is the mind's way of protecting the heart from wounds that are too hard to bear. Doctors have observed that the pressures on adult children today are heavier than ever before. Between careers, raising children, financial stress, and their own health challenges, many are simply stretched thin. When they hear blame from a parent they love, it does not create more time or energy. It drains the little emotional reserve they have left. Over time, they begin to associate family contact with feelings of failure and sadness, rather than love and comfort. Experts stress that what adult children need most is not reminders of their shortcomings, but invitations to connect, without guilt, saying, "I miss hearing your voice," or "It makes my day when I see you," offers warmth without judgment. It lets the child feel valued, not evaluated. Doctors explain that when seniors use language that lifts rather than blames, adult children are far more likely to reach out, to visit, to share their lives freely and joyfully. Research shows that families built on unconditional acceptance weather the storms of life much better. Adult children who feel supported, understood, and celebrated, even in their busy, imperfect lives, stay closer to their parents not out of duty, but out of love. They choose to call, they choose to visit, they choose the relationship because it feels like a safe harbor, not an obligation. Doctors have observed that many seniors who shift away from blaming language experience beautiful transformations in their relationships. Calls become more frequent, visits become more joyful, conversations become deeper and more meaningful. And in these moments, both parent and child find the connection they have been longing for. Connection built not on guilt, but on grace. Experts explain that every word we speak to those we love plants a seed. Seeds of guilt grow into walls. Seeds of kindness grow into bridges. Choosing to speak words of encouragement, words of hope, words that honor the goodness in our loved ones creates a legacy far richer than any gift money could buy. Allowing blaming language to live in the relationship is like letting small cracks form in a beautiful bridge. Cracks that over time can break it apart. But choosing to replace blame with love strengthens the bridge, making it strong enough to carry the weight of years, of distance, of life's hardest challenges. You deserve relationships filled with laughter, ease, and real understanding. You deserve calls made from joy, not obligation. You deserve visits that feel like celebrations, not courtroom appearances. And your adult children deserve the chance to love you without fear of judgment, without the heavy burden of guilt clouding the simple, powerful joy of connection. Your words are powerful. Today, you have the power to use them to heal, to invite, to build. Every time you choose love over blame, you give yourself and your children the greatest gift of all, the chance to walk toward each other freely with open hearts, across a bridge that will only grow stronger with time. The words, "When I was your age, I had already," may be spoken from a place of pride, but doctors and relationship experts warn they often leave a wound rather than encouragement. Studies show that comparisons like this, even when meant to inspire, can belittle an adult child's efforts, make them feel unseen, and slowly disconnect them from the parent they once trusted to understand them best. Experts explain that every generation faces different battles. Life today is not what it was 50 years ago. The cost of living is higher, workplaces are more stressful, and family life is stretched thinner than ever. When a senior says, "When I was your age," it often feels to the adult child like their struggles are being minimized. Doctors have observed that instead of feeling proud or motivated, they feel dismissed, invisible, and painfully alone. Research shows that adult children crave validation just as much now as they did when they were little. They want their parents to see how hard they are trying, how much they carry, how deeply they care. When comparisons enter the conversation, it creates a silent message. You are not enough. Experts stress that this is not the message seniors intend to send, but it is the one that is most often heard. Doctors warn that repeated comparisons chip away at emotional safety. Adult children begin to guard their hearts, sharing less of their struggles, their hopes, and even their triumphs. They start visiting less. They start calling less. Not because they love less, but because being measured against the past makes the present feel like a failure, no matter how much they have achieved. Experts have observed that comparison language often grows from a natural, loving desire to offer perspective. Seniors want to share the lessons they learned, the strength they built, the sacrifices they made. But without careful framing, those lessons can sound like judgment instead of guidance. Instead of opening a door to conversation, they quietly close it. Research shows that families who thrive across generations do so by honoring the uniqueness of each life journey. Doctors explain that celebrating an adult child's victories, no matter how different they are from the parent's experiences, builds bonds of trust, admiration, and mutual respect. When seniors replace comparison with curiosity, asking, "Tell me what's been the hardest part," or "What are you most proud of right now?" they open windows into their children's hearts that no other words can unlock. Experts stress that respect is a two-way street. Seniors who want to be respected must also offer respect, not just for the choices their adult children make, but for the battles they fight that may look very different from their own. Every time you honor their path without judgment, you strengthen the bridge between you. Every time you listen without comparing, you tell them with your heart, "I see you. I am proud of you. I love you as you are." Doctors have observed that many seniors who make this shift experience remarkable transformations in their relationships. Conversations grow warmer, visits last longer. Adult children begin to seek out time with their parents, not out of duty, but out of deep, natural love. When seniors let go of comparison, they create space for new memories, new laughter, and a deeper connection built on shared humanity, not silent competition. Experts explain that words have lasting echoes. A single phrase of comparison can linger in an adult child's mind for years, shaping how they see themselves through the eyes of the one person they most wanted to make proud. But words of affirmation, words that lift, celebrate, and accept, create echoes of strength, confidence, and belonging that carry forward for generations. Allowing comparison to creep into conversations is like planting seeds of doubt in soil that should grow love. But choosing to celebrate your children's lives, even when they look different from your own, plants seeds of trust, admiration, and joy that will bloom long after today's conversations end. You deserve relationships filled with pride, warmth, and true understanding. You deserve to hear your children's stories, to see their world through eyes of compassion, and to share in their victories, both great and small. Your adult children deserve the chance to feel enough, to feel seen, and to feel celebrated, not compared, not measured, but loved without condition. Your words are a gift. Today, you have the power to choose ones that heal, ones that build, ones that bless. Every kind word you speak today is a foundation stone for a future filled with stronger bonds, sweeter memories, and deeper love than you ever thought possible. Words, you're too sensitive, you need to toughen up, may seem harmless or even helpful at first. But doctors and relationship experts warn that dismissing emotions this way can quietly damage the trust between a parent and an adult child. Studies show that when someone's feelings are brushed aside, it teaches them that they are not safe to open up, not safe to be vulnerable, and not fully seen for who they are. Experts explain that sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a natural part of human emotional health. Seniors may have grown up in a time when stoicism was praised and emotional expression was seen as a burden. But the world today asks for something different. It asks for understanding, empathy, and the ability to listen without judgment. Doctors have observed that when an adult child hears, "You're too sensitive," what they often feel inside is rejection. They hear that their pain does not matter. They learn that showing their real emotions will only bring criticism, not comfort. Research shows that relationships built on emotional safety, where feelings are honored rather than dismissed, last longer and grow stronger across time. When a senior minimizes their child's emotions, even unintentionally, they create a wall where there should be a bridge. Adult children stop sharing their struggles. They keep their fears, their hopes, and even their joys locked away, fearing that honesty will only bring more hurt. Experts have observed that the damage does not always show immediately. Adult children may still smile during visits. They may still call, but the depth of the relationship, the honest, trusting, heart-to-heart bond begins to dry up like a river in drought. Over time, what was once a vibrant, living connection fades into polite distance, hollow conversations, and silent sadness. Doctors explain that when an adult child is called too sensitive, it also quietly shames them for feeling deeply. It teaches them to mistrust their own emotions, to question their instincts, and to believe that needing support is a flaw rather than a human need. This internal conflict can spill into every area of their lives, making it harder to form healthy relationships, harder to seek help when they need it, and harder to fully believe they are worthy of unconditional love. Experts stress that one of the most healing gifts seniors can offer their adult children is emotional validation. Simple phrases like, "I see that this is hard for you," or "Your feelings matter to me," open doors that years of silence can never unlock. Listening without rushing to fix, without offering tough advice, without comparing, allows adult children to feel truly seen and deeply loved. Research shows that when people feel emotionally safe with their parents, they are more likely to share their successes, their fears, and their most tender dreams. They are more likely to visit, to call, to stay close even when life gets difficult. Trust grows when emotions are honored, not judged. Doctors have observed that changing the habit of dismissing emotions is not about pretending to agree with every feeling. It is about respecting that feelings are real to the person experiencing them. It is about recognizing that every tear, every worry, every hesitation carries a story, a hope, a longing for understanding. Experts explain that being strong does not mean being silent. It means standing beside the people you love in their hardest moments, offering presence rather than correction, compassion rather than comparison. True strength lies in connection, not control. Allowing dismissive words to creep into conversations is like shutting a door that may never open again. But choosing to honor emotions, even when they seem unfamiliar or uncomfortable, is like opening windows to let fresh, healing air into a room that has been closed too long. You deserve relationships filled with honesty, openness, and deep trust. You deserve to hear your children's hearts, not just their polite words. Your children deserve to feel safe bringing their whole selves to you, the joyful parts, the struggling parts, and everything in between. Your words have the power to create that safety. Every time you choose to listen rather than dismiss, every time you choose to validate rather than criticize, you build a bond that time and hardship cannot break. Today, you have the opportunity to plant seeds of trust that will grow into trees of unshakable love. Every kind word you speak today is a promise to your children, a promise that their feelings are welcome, their stories are safe, and their hearts will always find a home with you. The words, "If you really loved me, you would," may seem like a simple way to express hurt or longing, but doctors and relationship experts warn they often carry a much heavier price than intended. Studies show that emotional manipulation like this erodes genuine love, turning what should be a joyful, free connection into something that feels like an obligation. Over time, it can quietly break the trust and closeness between a parent and an adult child. Experts explain that love, in its purest form, must always be given freely. It must never be demanded, weighed, or measured. When a senior says, "If you really loved me, you would," it places a heavy burden on the child's heart. It makes love feel conditional. Instead of being trusted and celebrated, love becomes something to be proven, something that can be withheld or questioned. Doctors have observed that this shift creates deep emotional pain for adult children, even if they cannot always find the words to express it. Research shows that relationships thrive when love is invited, not coerced. When an adult child feels that their actions are never enough, that their love must constantly pass hidden tests, they begin to withdraw, not because they feel less love, but because the relationship no longer feels safe. Experts stress that emotional manipulation, even when subtle, teaches adult children that their worth is tied to meeting demands rather than simply being who they are. Doctors have observed that seniors who lean on conditional language often do so from a place of deep loneliness or longing. They may feel forgotten, unneeded, or invisible. These feelings are real and deserve tenderness. But expressing them through guilt creates more distance, not more closeness. Adult children are not mind readers. They need direct, kind communication, not veiled accusations wrapped in pain. Experts explain that hearing "if you really loved me" triggers powerful shame in adult children. Shame makes people hide, makes them pull away to protect their hearts. Instead of inspiring a visit, a call, or a hug, it inspires silence. Emotional pressure may force a child to show up physically, but it leaves them emotionally distant, moving through the motions with a heart that feels bruised and closed. Research shows that when seniors express their needs honestly, without guilt or judgment, adult children are much more willing to respond with warmth and generosity. Saying, "I miss you and would love to see you," invites connection without demanding it. Saying, "I feel happiest when we talk," allows the child to step forward from a place of love, not fear. Doctors have observed that this kind of openness deepens relationships, creating bonds that grow stronger rather than weaker over time. Experts emphasize that love must always be a gift, not a payment. Every call, every visit, every small act of kindness from an adult child must come from the heart. When seniors let go of expectations and offer love freely, without strings attached, they often find that their children respond with even greater affection, greater loyalty, and greater joy. Doctors warn that the silent damage caused by emotional manipulation is often not seen until it is too late. The calls slow down, the visits become shorter, the smiles lose their warmth, the heartache deepens on both sides, each feeling misunderstood, each longing for the connection they once shared. But the good news is that healing can begin with a single change in language, a single act of unconditional love. Experts explain that forgiveness, both toward yourself and toward your children, is essential. Letting go of the need to test love allows real love to flourish. Choosing to trust that your children love you, even when they are busy, even when they fall short, creates an emotional safety that invites them back, time and time again. You deserve relationships built on freedom, joy, and real closeness. You deserve to be loved for who you are, not for what you can ask for. Your children deserve to love you without fear of failing invisible tests. They deserve to know that your love stands firm no matter what. Your words have the power to unlock that future. Every time you choose love without condition, every time you open your arms without expectation, you rebuild the bridge between your heart and theirs. Today is a beautiful day to let love breathe freely again, to release the need for proof, and to trust in the deep, lasting bonds that have always been there, waiting to grow even stronger.